Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Greetings and a hearty welcome, everyone. I hope you're all faring well. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you, shining love light into your hearts and homes to uplift, inspire, and empower you to create a life you love. Our show today is truly enlightening, the power of prayer, with Bhavana Chawla joining us from Hawaii. But before we begin, let's join our hearts and hands together in a virtual circle of love and light. This is our special time to be here now. Quiet your mind. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow, deep cleansing breaths on the count of 3. 1, inhale, exhale. 2, inhale, exhale. 3, inhale, exhale. Continue breathing at your regular pace. Imagine a huge cloud of vibrant white light. Immerse yourself in the energy and see yourself glow from within. Feel the energy of love, peace, and joy. This is who you really are, the source of love. Take a moment to bathe in this calming, cleansing, healing energy of pure divine love. Commit to being the light of love. Now focus on your heart. Love lives here. Gently whisper, I am worthy. I am light. I am love. On the count of 3, bring yourself back. 1, 2, 3. We are grateful. Revisit this meditation and be reminded of your shining light of love. Let it be, and so it is. Prayer empowers us to live in communion with our soul, aligned with higher power. Prayer helps us grow in faith and believe in the divine helping hand of grace. It's that quiet power that gives us a feeling of blessed assurance and comfort, especially during times of need. It gives us the courage to flow with transitions and change through the seasons of our life. Quoted by E.M. Bounds, our praying needs to be pressed and pursued with an energy that never tires, a persistency which will not be denied, and a courage that never fails. So how can we believe that prayer really works? How can we access the power of prayer in our daily life? And what is the key to the power of prayer? Our guest today, Bhavana Chawla, is an intuitive healer, medium, animal communicator, and founder of Awaken To Your Light. With her natural-born healing gifts, light, love, and compassion, she assists people to clear what's in the way of living their best life. She reads their energy and senses positive qualities, life's purpose, as well as energy blocks. And for over 15 years, she's helped empower people to shine their light. So now I welcome Bhavana Chawla joining us today from Hawaii on our show, The Power of Prayer. Bhavana, welcome to Love Light on such an enlightening episode.
Hello, Jean, and hello, everyone. Aloha and namaste from Kauai Island. It's such a pleasure to be with you all today.
Well, thank you so much. I've been waiting for this inspirational show. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you in your service Awaken to the Light?
Yes, I would be happy to. Thank you, Jean. So, as Jean mentioned, I call what I do Awaken to Your Light. Live your best life. All of us were born with gifts: creative gifts, intuitive gifts, intellectual gifts, whatever our gifts are. And when we're in touch with what they are and what our soul's purpose is, there's a light that radiates from it within. That's how Jean started the show. And it radiates out. It radiates and touches others. It touches plants and animals. And our whole earth can vibrate with this love and with this light. And this is what I help people to become aware of: their heart's light, their greatest purpose, whatever makes their hearts sing, whatever brings them joy. This is their gift to themselves and to the world. And the world can be uplifted and become a more harmonious place, a more joyful and peaceful place when we're in touch with our hearts and with the nudges of our spirits. And as we go through our daily lives, we may experience on this earth pain and difficulties, low self-esteem, emotional upheaval, depression. And all of these things are just part of our natural human existence, but they can get in the way if we let them linger and cling on to us of our heart's purpose and what really makes us shine. So I love to help people remove these blocks, sort of like, clean off the copper penny that we are so we can shine again, that beautiful copper color gold. And I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you further in the show today and sharing with you how the power of prayer has been so intrinsic in my life, in the transformation that I've experienced, and in the lives of the clients that I'm so blessed to have encountered through my practice.
Thank you. And thank you for that analogy about the penny, because it is our innate power to shine our light, even though we're clouded with a lot of faulty beliefs and external, the illusion of external validation. So thank you for sharing that. How did you discover the power of prayer, Bhavana?
Well, I was born into a culture. My background is Indian. We came from India, me and my family, when I was very young. I was about 1 year old. And prayer and a couple of different religious practices were very central in my childhood and continuing through my early adult life. Now, my parents came from a region in India in the north in Punjab where there were Sikhs and there was Hindus. And I asked them at one point, well, what are we? Which one are we? Because we went to both places of prayer. And they didn't know how to answer that question because when they grew up, people mixed different religions and they didn't really differentiate between one and the other. They sent us to even a Christian Sunday school at one point. And I remember that they taught us that all paths lead to God. Many world religions say very similar things about, doing good, being good, and, helping thy neighbor, being kind, being in service. And these values stuck with me. But as I went through my life, I realized, me personally, this is my journey. You might have a different journey, but again, your path leads to a spiritual and godly way of living, which I simply say is living a life of love, choosing love over fear. And that's a choice we may make often on the earth, but when we keep strengthening that love muscle, it comes more easy and natural. So going into my early adult life, I realized I wasn't too interested in the form of prayer and how to pray exactly. what books to read when I prayed, which church to go to or which temple. I started spending time in nature, and that was my place of prayer, with the sky and the rivers, oceans. Now that I live here in Hawaii, waterfalls, seeing a beautiful sunrise or sunset and feeling the power of that beauty, the stillness. And I developed a deep sense of gratitude for all of this wonderful nature and this color, this light that was given to us. And that became a very special way that I personally commune when I go deep inside with myself, with the nature around me, the nature beings, and with the divine presence of God. And you may have your own ways that you connect in and pray. And we'll get into more of that as we continue the show.
Yes. Divine power is omnipresent. And thank you for sharing that. And I know for our listeners, there may be special places that you go to where you feel that solitude and connection. And I too, like Bhavana, I love nature. I have my own meditation garden. I like walking around the lake. Something about nature where you can feel that connection and you have that peace and solitude, and you can see the harmony of nature, which is so enlightening. Bhavana, what is the role of angels, guides, and loved ones in heaven that that helps us on our journey forward? And then we'll kind of talk about ways that we can connect. And I know in our next segment, you're going to take listeners through a really heartwarming exercise. But what is the role of angels, guides, and loved ones?
Well, that's a great question. That's very thought provoking, and just like in nature, when people are farm, there's a lot of farms here. They're farming, and they're relying on the pollinators, the bees and the butterflies, to go around and pollinate the plants. And these are the helpers. We've got water and sunshine. Sometimes we need shade and nutrients to get these plants to grow so that we can eat this delicious food, wonderful, juicy papayas and, dark leafy greens for salads. So I look at nature and I see that that's a great example. Angels, loved ones, who've gone to heaven, who become our guardian angels, and guides are our helpers who are assisting to nourish us, to help us grow, to take in that light, just like the plants take in sunlight. They are in the light, and they are. I see them as sort of a bridge between heaven and earth that we can connect to. At times people need something or someone physical that they and sort of tangible to connect with when they're praying. I feel this is why many world religions and even different types of spiritual faiths that are not necessarily religious in orientation have, these physical representations. It may be a holy book. It may be a picture of an angel. It may be a particular name that you call God and God's helpers. So it really helps to connect in. And we can ask our angels and our loved ones, or if you want to use the word guides, spirit guides, for assistance. They can step in anyway, but there's sort of a universal law at times. They will step in only when we ask, because of the power we were given of free will, of choice. And through our choices is how we grow. But as we mentioned before about the blocks that we may have to living a beautiful, wonderful life, or the fear that can come in and sort of cloud us as humans, well, that's another opportunity to go to them and help us remove those fears. They are in that beautiful realm where there is only love. And they're, like I said, helping us connect. We can ask them for assistance. And like I said, sometimes I have seen this in my life and in clients' lives. If there's some very dire circumstance, without asking, they will come in our life and step in, and they will help.
Yes.
Help remove that fear and quiet our heart and mind and body, and help guide us to make the steps that lead us on this beautiful path of love and light.
And Bhavana, we're never alone. And I thank you for just pointing out, the appreciation for all the beings that give us sustenance, because sometimes we may not pay attention to nature and how everything works, in an integral manner to give us that substance. And for us to know that we can call on the angels, guides, and loved ones for help and support. We're going to be up for a commercial break shortly, but thank you for sharing that, perhaps there are special places or things that we hold dear that we use where we can feel that power of sustenance. And I know when we had a chat briefly, you talked about power spots, the mountain, the lakes, places where you feel that sacred connection.
Yes, and you may have a power spot as well, listeners. Some people, it is in a church. It's in the Catholic Church. I know people who love to go to Mass every Sunday morning. That's their power spot.
Yes.
There's other people here, they have a favorite beach.
Yes.
And that's where they go. The local Hawaiians have a very, very powerful practice of connecting with different spots in nature. And they bring flower offerings. They do ceremonies. They do chanting and drumming. And that's their place of power.
Sure. And, whatever tangible objects, Bible, crystals, whatever gives you that power, or, feel free to connect with that and know that, everything has its own purpose and radiates that light and love. And we know what gives us that sustenance and that power. But right now, I think we're up for a brief commercial break. So we'll return shortly with more on the power of prayer with Bhavana Chawla joining us from Hawaii. She's an intuitive healer, medium, animal communicator, and founder of Awaken to the Light. We'll return shortly. Stay tuned.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com, or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling authors international news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com. Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're all in this together. Embrace one another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today. Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Welcome back to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. If you're just joining us, we are with Bhavana Chawla, joining us today from Hawaii. She's an intuitive healer, medium, animal communicator, founder of Awaken to the Light. On our show today, The Power of Prayer. Bhavana, one of the things that struck me was how we have blocks to prayer. Perhaps people are desperate. They're wanting immediate answers, and perhaps they don't have the faith or not trusting because they want to feel good now for this block to be removed. And I know for myself, a lot of times when I go into prayer, I try to leave it up to divine timing, and maybe, in a day or whatever, the answer will come, or sometime the results may come instantly. So let's talk about the blocks to prayer.
Yes, definitely. This is a very essential part of growing and of getting in touch with who we are, being aware of what our blocks are, and then how to remove them so that we can fly free and live this wonderful life that we're meant to live. So I remember early on in my path as a healer, I actually started doing psychic readings, and I was very good at it. I could predict when people would meet someone that they were going to get into a relationship with or get a job, or I saw faces in my mind's eye of people's future partners. But a time came when I was getting calls right and left, not even in appointments. I was out socializing or just doing other things, and people are asking me, what's going to happen? When's this going to happen? How's it going to happen? And I thought to myself, this is not really helping people. This is not empowering them to create their own life, to make their own choices. And I just sat with that and I prayed about it. And then I remember I had a client, this is about 13 years ago, and I saw nothing in her future. She's sitting in front of me. She's paid for the session. And I thought, oh gosh, okay, what am I going to do with this? So I said a quick prayer. Dear God, please show me how come you brought this client to me. Okay. And pretty much right away after I quieted my mind and my heart, it probably took not even 10 seconds. I was shown that she had heartache and low self-esteem, and all of the things she wanted in her career that she was going after was not really a part of who she really was. It wasn't really what would make her heart sing. And I was told that is what she needed assistance with. So I changed my whole practice from what I used to call psychic readings or psychic coaching into intuitive healing. And, I have countless examples of that. There's another client of mine who was in a relationship. She really wanted to be with this man. She thought this was the one, but he had a drug addiction. And after working with me, I asked her to say prayers about what would be the best way to move forward, what would bring her the most light in her life. And I envisioned her in the light. Once I helped her remove this darkness and blocks around her of again, that was also low self-esteem. That's a big one. Mm-hmm. I remember about 4 or 5 days after our session, he broke up with her. all of a sudden she was devastated and angry and came back to me and told me that. And I looked into what had happened. Well, with the prayers and with helping her remove that darkness around her, those blocks, she was able to radiate and take in more light, simply all about light and love. And he wasn't resonating with her anymore. So he did her a favor. Now, it took a long time. She went through other experiences with men and but I watched her grow in her life. And she's a massage therapist, but she went into a yoga practice, not yoga poses and exercise, but yoga for meditation and sleep, and wrote a whole manual about it. And now she does these beautiful meditations with people in the forest. And she does those live on Facebook, and then you can listen to recordings. She started doing photography, which she loves, and presenting her photography art to galleries to be accepted. And as she did all this, she met a beautiful, beautiful partner. It took about 5 or 6 years, and they're very much in love now.
Beautiful story. Our willpower versus divine, divine power, divine timing. Sometimes we want something that's not in our best interest. And we have to realize that things do come to us. We're in this, school, the school of learning. And whatever comes to us is showing us what we need to know about ourselves. And as you indicated, for this person, that low self-esteem, right, was prominent. And that's a beautiful story about how you helped her guide her to the light within.
Well, thank you, Jean. And I would like to share with all of you a recent example. Now, there's a lot of you out there that may be experiencing a health issue or something very serious, potentially terminal, like cancer. I had a client come to me last year, and she wanted to take part in one of my classes. I was actually doing a class on connecting with your spirit guides, with your angels, and bringing them in your daily life. And she wrote me a message. Well, she couldn't talk at the time. She had just had surgery to remove some cancer nodes in her thyroid. So she had lost her voice after the surgery, and she wanted to find out when my next class was. Maybe she'd get her voice back by then. Well, I suggested to her that I do a healing with her. We set aside a time where she would sit and pray and meditate or lay down, and no need to call me or be on Zoom. But at that same time, I would connect in, see if she had any blocks, do some healing and some prayers. Now, that was a wonderful session that she got a lot out of personally to guide her life, but her voice was still not back. So what I did was I prayed. I went to God and angels, as we've mentioned before, and I said, could a miracle occur that her voice returns? When I was doing the healing, I could see that it wasn't going into her throat area and her voice box. I didn't see any energy firing in there. But then when I said the prayers and I asked a miracle to occur of the light to go into her throat area, about 10 days later, she wrote a message to me and put it up on Facebook. My voice has returned. I want to thank my nurses, my family, friends, Bhavana Chawla, for assisting me in my path of healing. And I was just blown away. And I thought, well, that is the power of prayer. Now, she had this surgery, same kind of surgery before, and it took 4 months for her voice to return. But when she found me, she was 6 weeks into her recovery. And then, 10 days later, like I said, her voice comes back. So, not even 2 months or around that time. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 weeks in that she was in her recovery period. That's about half the time. And so, prayer is available to us and accessible to us for a wide range of things, not only, a relationship we'd like. Jean and I talked before this show, there's a house that she wanted. She ended up getting another one that was meant for her. I've had a similar situation with my house. But also, if you have pain, if you've got health issues, if you've got any kind of difficulty, your friends, your loved ones, your pets around you, you can pray for them, not only for yourself. You gather in prayer together even. And why do people go to churches and temples and masses? There's power in connecting with each other and together with our intentions. And then the next part of it is having that faith and the patience to wait for it, allow it to occur, allow it to unfold. No, I didn't know whether her voice would return or when, neither did she. You leave it in the hands of God and angels, and you recognize there's a power greater than you that's rooting for you, that's on your side. Mm-hmm. And you're definitely not alone in whatever it is that you're dealing with.
Yes, and it shows us the collective healing power, the hands of the surgeons, you intervening, all things that come together that work for our greater good. And thank you for sharing about coming together in prayer, because I was going to ask you about that, the collective power of prayer. We don't know how we have an impact. I can sit here and pray for the world, pray for people, shine that light, and that can make a difference. So can you share with our listeners that, our prayers go out? We don't have to physically see the person or be in a particular area. If there are, perhaps issues in another area where you're not located, how prayer can connect us. Can you just share that about the collective power of prayer?
Well, yes. And then let's go into a prayer ourselves.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, I remember I was in a meditation prayer group years ago. One of the friends of a member of the group was in an area in California where the forest fires were going off and they were coming towards her neighborhood. So this friend in the group was guided for us to all pray together, pray protection over this lady's home. What ended up happening was the fire came into the neighborhood. It stopped at the house to the left of her, next door, did not continue to the rest of the street. Mm-hmm. And that is the power of collective prayer, and prayer that reaches a large distance. We were not next to this lady's home. I didn't know who she was. So here we all are together, and there's going to be a replay where there may be many of us listening in again to the show afterward. And let's all just take a moment now and quiet our hearts and minds and ask yourself, is there an area of your life or a special loved one or an issue in the world, in the U.S. government, another part of the world where there's war or poverty, that could benefit from the power of prayer, of our loving intentions to bring light to the situation, to improve it, and answer the prayers, and remember, in the way that they are for the highest good. So as you take a moment and go within your heart, just like how we started the show with Jean, and radiate that love inside and the light. Imagine that love from your heart is radiating all through your body, reaching the tips of your fingers and toes, the top of your head, all the way down your spine. And as you connect with the divine above, you're also connecting with the Mother Earth below, so supportive and loving. And just take a moment and ask God, your angel guides, your spirit guides, or your loved ones in heaven, whatever words that are beneficial to you, that resonate with you, and ask that light and love be poured onto this situation for the highest and best. And ask for your faith to be strengthened. And through these prayers, a newfound confidence and strength that they will be answered. and unfold in your life, in the lives of others, in the lives of the global collective of our earth that we are, for the very best.
Mm.
And then let's close off by saying, thank you, God.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing these prayers. I'm standing on the faith that they will be answered, and you will witness the unfolding.
So it is.
And so it is.
Bhavana, I think that for us and our listeners, it's so important for us to fill ourselves with that love and light. Feel it in your heart. Believe it. Know it. Radiate it. Because we can't just say, I send the love and light out. We have to really be the light, be that beacon of light for ourselves, and fill our own selves with that love and light to keep our own cup filled with love.
That is very essential, to fill your own cup. There's so many people who are very helpful, who would want to just love to step in and assist someone if they're not feeling good, or, there's different spiritual groups, religious groups that, go in and help people who are homeless, or someone who just had a baby, and, bring them clothes, bring them food, provide hot showers for the homeless. But before you go out and serve and do all this, it's important to fill your cup, to rejuvenate and replenish, so that you can draw from that reserve that you have, and you're not drained.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, Jean and I had talked about this before, is there a particular way to pray, or who to pray to, or how to pray? As long as you have the intention of love in your heart, you have the intentions of positivity and betterment for the highest good. That is how you pray. There's no set words or language or place to pray. But if you feel like you need to say specific words, go to your power place. Well, you can go and do that. But anywhere you are, sometimes you might be traveling. You can take a moment, go within your heart, and you can pray. God, love, and light are always present all around us and everywhere. It's just a matter of removing those blocks and connecting in.
Yes. Pray for those in flight who are traveling, whether by plane, boat, train, whatever. We can send out the prayer, but feel it. Let's, like as Bhavana indicated, we have to keep ourselves filled with that light and love, and draw from that and radiate it outward. That is so powerful. Well, Bhavana, and for our listeners, we're ready for another commercial break, and we will return shortly with the power of prayer with our outstanding guest, Bhavana Chawla, joining us today from Hawaii. She's an intuitive healer, medium, animal communicator, and founder of Awaken to the Light. We'll return shortly.
Dr. Jean Marie Farish is proud to announce the release of her new book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being, available now at Balboa Press. This book will help you master your life and flourish in love. You'll learn how to become a better and more evolved you. Feel good by making life-affirming choices. Deepen your feelings and expressions of love. Tune in love and sustain the change. And flourish in love and find your joy. Visit BalboaPress.com and search for Living in the Spirit of Love and enjoy Dr. Farish's new book today.
I'm Judy Satori. I'm a spiritual channel and activator of human potential. You might have heard me speaking on the Voice of America on Dr. Jean Farish's show, Love Light, because I've been speaking about the challenges that are besetting all of us right now and how we can surrender but also keep on going. I want to invite you to join my new Facebook group that is devoted to heart-centered connection and unity. Through this Facebook group, You can also join my free access question and answer session with Spirit on the first Wednesday to Thursday of every month. Just search Ascension Community on Facebook to join the group. In this session, I answer questions and transmit energy from Spirit to give you guidance and support. Because life on planet Earth ain't easy right now. And there is so much help from above, from beings of love and light, from multidimensional realities who are actually here with us, wanting to step up and support us. I welcome you to become part of our ongoing group conversation about evolutionary change and how it's affecting us as human beings and affecting our life today. Many blessings to you. You can find out more about me and my work at www.ascensionlibrary.org. Have a wonderful day.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press. Best-selling Authors International news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published Magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
You've been listening to Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. And if you're just joining us, we are with Bhavana Chawla. She's an intuitive healer, medium, animal communicator, founder of Awaken to the Light, joining us today from Hawaii. And Bhavana, thank you so much for, sharing with us how important it is for us to really radiate that love and feel the power of love. And I think you'd like to kind of share a little bit about what's going on in our world today to maybe empower listeners.
Yes, Jean. So we have been talking on the show a lot about radiating love and radiating light and the blocks toward that. And so I'd like to spend a few minutes and just speak about these blocks. And do we always feel loving and filled with light? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Well, what to do when you don't feel this way, when you're feeling down or angry or fearful? Just recently with the change of government in the U.S., I've had clients contacting me, wanting sessions and wanting to know. I had a client ask me, is there going to be another world war? And that is really raking on his nervous system. So I asked him to go within and take a little journey with me. And what I was seeing around him is that he's actually very, very skilled. He does yoga for many years, and he learned nutrition. He learned martial arts. And I asked him, what is it about what's happening, in the U.S. government that's really troubling you, And you know what he shared with me? He says, I just don't know what to do. I feel so powerless on this situation. And I felt the best thing I could help him with is to find his power again. And I told him, there may be young people around you that have the same concerns as you. How about start a discussion group and share with them all these things you've learned over the years? The yoga and the martial arts, these all not only strengthen the body, but they strengthen the mind. And how about come up with some solutions, what you can do for your community, for the people around you. Now, there's another client of mine had similar concerns, and she volunteered for the other side campaign. I'm just not going to mention any names in this because some people are for this candidate, some for the other. And I don't feel it's all about this division. I feel what it's really all about is what is the best for yourself, the communities around you, the young people who are growing up in all this. How can we mentor them? How can we ask them what their solutions are that they come up with? This is how we create the world. This is how we take our power back and we keep it within us, knowing that you have an influence. You have the power to change things. It's not just one government. It's not just one Congress, one president that has all this power. They're going to play their role and they're going to do what they do. But they are not the only ones that run the world, that run our lives. So I wanted to share that with all you to remember. If you look around, you could probably volunteer somewhere in your community and influence the lives of the people around you, or just your own friends and family. And when you feel that you're making a difference, understand if there's more people making a difference like you, that this is going to spread out into the world. You know, there's people who want to influence the government by having mass campaigns where they're writing letters to their Congress members. They're speaking up. You have a voice, you can use it. And pray about it. Pray about what steps that you can take. Just like the story I shared about how this woman's house did not burn, nor did the houses near her on one side. Well, how did that happen? That was the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. How did one client's voice return? With a humble heart, me and her and the people around her were also praying for that miracle to occur. So these are examples of people's lives, but we can also influence government and whatever is happening in the world. You may feel unrest. You may feel angry. You may feel down. But remember, it doesn't help to stay in these feelings. When you quiet your heart and mind and go within and recognize that power of prayer and the power of you as a human being and joining with others who are like-hearted, like-minded, the miracles that can occur. So keep it in mind the next time you get stuck. You can get unstuck if you choose. That's another thing. It's all about choice.
That's
and the
so
freedom.
Empowering. And what were you saying?
The freedom to make these choices.
Yes, that we can always choose.
Being stuck is an illusion. If you step outside of that little box you created for yourself, right, that you put yourself in, and step into that power that's greater than you, the power of your spirit, of God and angels, you will be guided.
That's so encouraging. It brings, I thought about a quote by Mahatma Gandhi: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And when you talked about, connecting with other people where you can share your feelings, a small group or a large group, connecting with those like-minded people, being of service, volunteering. There are things we can do rather than just sitting and immersing ourselves in fear. I remember one time I was going through a hard time and I was inspired to volunteer at the Children's Hospital. And boy, did that make a difference. I was the greeter for the parents and the children. I served coffee to the parents. And what grew out of that, I got a grant and sponsored healing arts projects, storytelling series, festivals with magicians and artists. So, one thing led to the other. So that took me out of myself. So thank you for sharing that, Bhavana.
That's really beautiful, Jean. And it's such an honor to come back to your show. You really live a path of love and light. And you're just a great inspiration.
Well, thank you so much. And so are you. So can you share about your services and how listeners can connect with you?
Listeners, you can go to my website, awakentoyourlight.com. And from there, you can connect even further through my social media, Facebook and Instagram, where I announce my classes. I have online Zoom classes where I help people to learn how to pray. In every group of mine, we do pray for each other, connect with your spirit guides, learn to release the blocks to your intuition. And I announce those classes on my website, again, on the Facebook and Instagram, awakentoyourlight.com. And you can also email me or use my contact form. My phone number is on there. I'm very accessible. So I do intuitive healing, like I mentioned before. I also do pet communication, and I teach my local ingredient, farm-to-table Indian cooking as well. So it's been such a pleasure to be with you all today. I hope this show has inspired you to deepen your faith and remember the connection with the power that's greater than you, that's guiding you, that's on your side, and would like the very best outcomes in your life, and for you to shine your light, radiate it in the world, touch others, plants, and pets, all animals.
Beautiful show today, and thank you for the inspiration. Even though we talk about shining the light, as you indicated, we are humans, and our personality self get caught up in fear and we get stuck. But thank you for all the guidance to move us forward and to really connect with others, connect with community, and make a difference. So thank you so much for being on this enlightening show, and we invite listeners to share our show with others and connect with Bhavana to go deeper.
Sounds good, Jean. You contact me for a service.
Okay.
And mention the Love Light show, receive 20% off.
Oh, wonderful. So there is power in prayer, joining our hearts and hands together to make a difference in our world. We're never alone. We're always being watched over from the angelic realm. Trust it to be so. We're not at the mercy of external forces, the madness of chaos, the perceived illusion of power. Our true power lies within. Keep the faith, trust, and behold the new. The evil will crumble and pass away like dust in the wind. Focus on yourself and your divine power to create a life you love. I like to close with an excerpt on self-cleanse. Purify your mind, body, and soul. Cleanse your heart and guard your mind. Wash away negativity. Cleanse yourself from all that defiles and disrupts your inner being. Refresh with self-forgiveness and self-compassion. Refresh with pure intentions, meditation, and prayer. Refresh with gratitude. Refresh with the cleansing power of nature. Bathe in the healing power of love. Be restored to your true soulful self. Be renewed with peace and joy. This is Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host. And until we meet again, remember, an empowered self is a loving self. And keep your love light shining. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thanks to Bhavana for being on our show today.
Thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.